Good afternoon, Jody.
Hey, Pat, how are you?
I'm doing fine.
Good.
How long does Marcelino stay?
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Dan.
Hi, Jody.
Hi, Dan.
Hi, Pat. I see Melissa and Keith.
Hi, Dan.
Hello, Melissa. Still have a couple more people to join us yet, and then we'll get started. So how are you doing, Jody?
Pretty good, hanging in there. How are you? How are you doing?
Good.
Doing
I
okay?
just got my second shot.
Oh, good.
Well, it was good, but it was a little rough that next day.
Yeah.
But it's everything's back to normal now. So in
That's
2 weeks, I'm going to be ready to rock and roll, hopefully. Although I
Great.
guess I still have to be worried about the variants, I guess, right?
Oh, let's see. Hopefully not too bad.
Hopefully not too much. Keith.
How are you?
Good. Hey, Chief, how are you?
All right, how are you?
Good. How was your updates?
They're like they are every year. Keith would know what that's like.
Yes, yes.
One of those necessary things you have to do, though.
Yep.
Good. Just so you guys know, also with me is Nancy. Nancy has my paralegal. She's going to be here. She's going to make sure she takes all the notes so she'll put together the minutes then.
Great.
Okay.
I did bring in one of my investigators, Paul Bauer, so he's sitting here, but he's out of the camera view.
Camera shy.
right now.
Hi, Paul.
Yeah.
How are you?
Good, how about you?
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. So are you at work, Keith, or are you off today?
I'm off today. I switched to the 12-hour days, so I have a lot of days off. I like it.
Yeah.
I have nine more months.
Oh, really?
Yeah, January 20th.
Is that retirement?
That is retirement. I'm pretty sure I'm going to go. I jumped back on the street about 9 months ago. So I did an investigation for 16 years, and I just got, I guess, just tired of that for a number of reasons. So I just jumped back on the road, which I was off the road for 16 years. So when I was on the road, we got cell phones in my last couple of years. Now we have computers and body cameras, and all kinds of stuff. So it's different. It was a learning curve for me again, but I got it now.
Good.
What are you going to do, Keith?
I'm not sure yet, but something different. You guys can relate a little bit, but
There's Dr. Jones.
Folks, how are we?
How you doing, Corey?
Good. How are you guys?
Good.
I think we're just waiting for Jeremiah yet, and then we can get started. He confirmed, right? Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think he said that he was
He's done.
in Florida or someplace
But he was done.
for some training himself right now.
Got it.
So Melissa, did you figure out the breakout room piece?
I didn't have a chance to even try to play around with it.
I actually had a meeting last night where I was trying to gonna try to do that.
Okay.
Oh, so I just got an email from Jeremiah. Hold on, what does it say here? I'm not able to connect via link or dial-in. Does not exist. All right, let me just send him a copy of that again. Okay, copy invite link. All right. He's calling me right now too, so hold on. Hey, Jeremiah.
Hey, am I the only one that can't connect to this thing?
Yep. So what I'm going to do is I just copied the link again, and I'm sending it over to you in an email. So you trying to get on your computer or your phone?
Everything, and I'm just using the link that's in the calendar invite.
Okay, try the link. I think it's the same link, but just try this link. I just emailed it to you now. See if that will work. If that doesn't, I'll get you some of the phone numbers too.
I have them all here. I tried them all. None of them work.
Okay, try the link I just sent you, see if that works. And,
All right.
and if that doesn't work, Jeremiah, I think everybody, oh, there you go. All right, good. Thank you. We'll catch up with you there. Okay, Jeremiah, you there?
Yep, I'm here.
All right, I think we got everybody we need. Okay, and I don't see anybody from the public at the moment. Is that accurate?
Correct.
Okay. All right, so I don't, Jeremiah, if you want to call the meeting to order and then just let me know and turn it over to me and I'll kind of go through where we plan on going today.
All right, calling this meeting to order, April 16th, 1:04 p.m. And I'll turn it over to Dan.
All right, so thank you very much. So what we're going to do today is we have two reasons for the meeting. The first one is relating to the police issues, and that is we want to certify the eligible candidates for the position of police officer. And the second thing that we want to do is we want to authorize the procedures for creating a list for the certified candidates for firefighter technician and recommend authorization to proceed with the hiring process for firefighter technician. So what we're going to do is those two things. One will require us to go into an executive session, and that one is for the police officer position so that we can discuss specifically the candidates and the qualifications. So Chief Phillips, who's on the line with us, and I believe he said that he has one of his criminal investigators who assisted with the process, will be present and able to give us some information. We can ask him some questions. And I'm sorry, the name of the criminal investigator that was with you, Chief?
Paul Bauer.
Paul Bauer. So he'll be there to help us out as well. Once we get through that, what we'll do is we'll come out of the executive session and we'll take action on the list, request that you certify the list. And then that list will go, just as we've done in the past, where I think everybody that's been here, that list will then go to the Personnel Committee on Tuesday, I think is your meeting. Is that correct?
20th,
And then
yes.
ultimately, the council will make a decision on the hiring of officers. From a preliminary conversation with Chief Phillips, I understand there's a possibility of 2 officers being hired. Under the civil service regulations, it says that we certify the list for 3. He's asking for 4. And the reason for that is because if they hire 1, they would like a list of 3 to hire for the second person. So what we'll do is we'll do that. We'll discuss that further when we get back into executive session, but that's what I anticipate. We would certify a list for 4 because of that. After we're done with, when we come back out of the executive session, take action on certifying the list. Once we're done with that, then we'll get in and review the firefighter technician documents that were sent over to you. Now, if you notice, there was a draft. This all came together fairly quickly because we wanted to try to get this for Tuesday's meeting. And Pat challenged me. He said, well, you might not, I know you might not be able to get there. I said, Pat, we're going to get there. So we did. So we'll try to get this taken care of so everything's ready to go. And then what we'll do is we'll talk about the firefighter piece. When that piece was sent out, there was initially a draft that went out to you. And then there was another one that went out today, which cleaned up kind of a couple of different issues. And I'll explain that all when we get to that as well. But you'll see that you have a second document that came out today. That's the one I'll be referring to. All right. So at this point in time, what I'd like to do is go into an executive session.
Hi.
Hi, how are you? So thank you for joining. Let me tell you where we are. You joined us a little late because we already started at 1 o'clock.
Yes, I know. I realized I had another meeting that.
That's fine. That's fine. So let me just tell you where we are and what we're doing just quickly. But we're going to be going into an executive session.
Okay.
Dealing with, because it's a personnel issue.
Okay.
Essentially, we have 2 issues we're going to be talking about. One is creation of the list, certifying the list for police officers. And that's where we're going to be going into the executive session here moment. We're just about ready to go in when you joined us.
Okay.
And then then we'll come out of that executive session. We'll take action on that issue. And then we're going to be talking a little bit about the firefighters technician program and starting to move forward with that process. Okay. So
Okay.
you can stay here, and if everybody else can, who's here can move on to the executive session, you should have that link. If you don't, I'll stay here for a minute to make sure that everybody's getting over. If you're having problems, let me know.
Sir, do I leave this one and just join that one and then join this, come back into this one later?
That's correct. That's exactly correct.
All right, thank you.
Yep. Hello again.
Okay.
Okay, I think we're still waiting for Corey. Here he comes. Okay, I think everybody's back now from the executive session. We'll reconvene the regular meeting of the Wyomissing Borough Civil Service Commission. At this point, Mr. Jadik, since you're the only member of the public, just so you know, what we did was we discussed the various members on the list. And what I'd like to do is I'm looking for a motion to certify the list of eligible candidates as I just want to make sure I have their names here correctly. They are as follows: Brandon Morris, Alexander Bird, Samuel Bryant, and Pinnell Monica. Is there a motion to certify those individuals and to notify the others that they have either been rejected or are not eligible on the certified list?
Motion.
Motion was Corey Jones. Is there a second?
Second.
Jody Menon. Will all those members of the commission signify their position by saying aye?
Aye.
Okay, the ayes have it. At this point, we now have the certified list of those 4 candidates for the position. Is there any other questions regarding the certification of the list for the police officer? Hearing none, we'll move on to the next phase of our discussion. Chief, you're more than welcome to stay. I don't think we necessarily need you, but you're more than welcome to stay as we talk about the firefighters piece. But if you have other things, that's fine. I think you probably can go on
Okay.
with police business.
All right, thank you very much. Take care.
Thank you, Chief. Very good job. Well done. All right. The next piece of business that we want to talk about is the firefighter technician process for hiring. Nancy sent out to you yesterday or the day before a draft, and again an updated draft today. The draft is based upon the information that was sent out or of the firefighters rules and regulations that are currently in place. What this is, albeit a fairly long summary, it's a summary of the process. And it goes through what has to be done in order to begin the process for hiring or promoting to a firefighter technicians. So what happens through this process is there's step-by-step how we give notices, what the applications involve, and then of course, how the examinations are going to be administered. One of the items in here that we want to talk about, which is a slight deviation, although it certainly we're compliant, is that a little different for firefighters than police. Each year, firefighters in the Department of Why I'm Missing are required to go through medical, psychological, and physical fitness testing and examinations as part of staying qualified as part of the NFPA 1582 requirements. Pat Brandenburg, who has a great deal of experience with that testing and those requirements, is here to answer any questions relating to that. Because the firefighters go through that every year, the borough has asked that we not require that of the firefighters for this promotion. Since the firefighter technician position requires that, they've already done that within the last 12 months. We don't want to have to go through that same cost and expense to get the same anticipated results back again. So the borough is asking for waiver of that process. So we'll be talking to you about that as we go forward, and we'll be asking for a motion on that part of the request. If you have any questions about NFP 1582, this is the appropriate time to talk about it. And maybe before we ask any questions, Pat, can you just give a brief summary of the background and the reason for that request?
Sure. Good afternoon, everybody. NFPA, National Fire Protection Association, is a conglomerate of fire service, industry-based, occupational health, NIH, Department of Justice, all different organizations that participate in a common goal of fire protection, safety for buildings, firefighters, and so forth. The NFPA 1582 standard was created to create a national standard of how firefighters are hired, and then after they're hired, their continued fitness for duty. And that was done by the International Association of Fire Chiefs in concert with the International Association of Firefighters, and approved by the Department of Justice Civil Rights Division and the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission back in 2006. That test to get hired is called a CPAT, Candidate Physical Ability Test, which is also part of NFPA 1582. And that's your initial test that you take when you come in. After you go through the initial testing and the physical, which has a 13-step fitness program involved in it, which means that the physician has to basically qualify that the person can perform these 13 essential steps of the job, which are basically included in our job description. We basically patterned our job descriptions directly from the national standard. So really, NFPA 1582 is a program that requires our firefighters to stay physically in shape, medically qualified, psychologically qualified for as long as they're employed by the borough. And these are done on a they're done on a yearly basis. And the firefighters right now actually are in their process of going through them. They were delayed by COVID because of St. Joe's not conducting those examinations while we were in severe COVID operations. But we are in the process of going through those physicals right now. So that's kind of where 1582 is. And we implemented this when basically I arrived up in Pennsylvania in 2013. We thought it would be the best to do this. And both the Township of Spring and Why Missing both participate in this program.
He didn't tell you the best part. They get to go through this testing on their birthday, because that's their birth date is the trigger date for the testing.
Yeah.
So happy birthday coming.
Yeah, happy birthday. You go to St. Joe's for 4 hours worth of testing.
Exactly. So as a result of that, and because of the expense that goes through, and it does hit all those needs based upon our regulations, the borough is asking that we allow that to stand as the required testing. From a legal standpoint, I'm satisfied with that. I believe from an actual practical standpoint, Pat, who has more experience in this than anybody probably in the area, I believe is confident that that's satisfactory as well. So the recommendation would be that we allow that to stand, we're not waiving the requirement, we're just allowing that to take the place of fulfilling the requirement when they provide us with evidence that they've satisfied 1582. So what I will be asking you for is agreement to allow that to take that position. While we're talking about NFPA, there's one more thing. If you look at the memorandum that I provided, or that Nancy sent over to you, if you look on page 3 of the most recent one, you'll see that there's another piece on there, which is NFP 1006 Rescue Corps Training Certification. We're adding that to this list that they have to have that background as well. That is not currently part of our rules and regulations, so we're going to have to amend but Pat felt pretty strongly that we should include that as well. Do you want to just speak to that just for a few minutes, Pat?
Once again, in an effort to nationalize training, and this came about with the urban search and rescue components of 9/11 and so forth, so that basically rescue teams could function with each other and be trained at the same level. The NFPA 1006 is already a requirement for our firefighters presently employed. So basically, they're not going out and getting another certification. They already have it. So we just felt it would be consistent to make this part of those qualifications for technician. And the captains also are NFPA 1006 certified. So that's the kind of the basis of it. It's just a national certification. Our folks can do heavy rescue training and heavy rescue operations.
So for right now, he just wants to make sure we're adding that into this particular process to make sure that's qualified, so that when we do take action, that they can establish that that qualification was met. And the purpose of that is at some point we will be coming back to you looking at amending the rules and regulations to add that provision and to also include a statement about the other section of the NFPA. Does anybody have specific questions about that? All right, so if that's the case, what I would ask for, I'd be looking for a motion to honor the borough's request that we utilize the requirements from NFP 1582 to satisfy the medical examination, physical examination, and fitness and agility examinations, if they can provide us with the verification that they've completed that within the last 12 months. Is there a motion to that effect? Okay, Dr. Jones moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Menon, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, the ayes have it. So we'll have that waiver's been granted. And then the next one is to include NFPA standard 1006 as part of the requirements for this process as well. Is there a motion to do that?
So moved.
Ms. Menon moved. Second?
Second.
Dr. Jones second. Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, we have that taken care of. Now, the last piece that I think we need to do, and Pat or Nancy, if I'm missing anything, let me know, but is then to make a recommendation, authorize that we proceed with the process of implementing the testing and procedures for promoting a firefighter to a firefighter technician position. So I need a motion to do that. Dr. Jones made the motion. Second?
Second.
Ms. Menon, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right. So I think at this point, that's everything. Pat, is there anything that I forgot?
No, Dan, I think that's it.
Okay. Nancy, just to make sure.
That's it.
Okay. And to the board members, do you have anything else that you want to discuss today?
Do we have to officially approve the minutes for the last meeting?
Yes, we probably do. Thank you for raising that, Jody. So I guess what we'd be looking for is, do we have a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting?
Dan, just a point of order. Most organizations I'm part of, I can't, as president, I can't move or second. Is that correct here as well?
I will tell you that's not necessarily the case here in municipal government. That happens all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can, but in this case, you certainly can do that.
Okay, so move then.
Okay, so Jeremiah has moved to approve the minutes. I saw Dr. Jones's hand go up for the second. All those in favor of approving those minutes, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. All right, minutes are approved. Thank you, Jody, for raising it for me. Is there any other business to come before the board?
Dan, I'd just like,
Okay.
Dan, I'm sorry. I'd just like to thank the commission for their time. And I know these fire processes are a little bit different, but we want to make sure we have the best for our people and the best for the community. And we appreciate their help in getting us to that point. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat. And we will probably, talking to Pat, we probably will be
Amendment,
coming
yeah.
back to you at some point in the future with some revisions to those, just kind of bring them up to current standards. Before we end, one last question, Mr. Jadick, do you have any questions as a member of the public public comment?
No, I'm fine. Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
Okay, great. All right, thank you.
Late, you know, you cannot, you think these Zoom meetings, you can put them on to, no, you can't.
No. All right, so the one last motion we need is just a motion to adjourn.
So move.
All right, second. That was Dr. Jones, second.
Second.
All right. Jeremy Sensenig, and all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Meeting adjourned. Thank you all. Have a great weekend.
You guys, thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Yep, goodbye. Tell Riker good luck. Oh, he hung up already.